I absolutely love a great story. And so here's a great story for you. If you are in a position where you are thinking about purchasing a home in the near future and you're feeling discouraged and you're not even sure how to get started, I want to share an amazing success story with you. One that could absolutely happen to you. I'm telling you right now, it's not easy. But it is absolutely possible. So if you are in a position where you need to purchase your own home, you want to purchase your own home, and especially if you're in a situation where you are paying a substantial amount of rent and you feel like it's a waste of time. I tell people all the time who complain about the interest rates, when you're paying rent, you are paying 100% interest on a home that you will never own. And I promise you there's lots of gimmicky things out there that say lease to own, rent to own. 99% of the time, those deals fall apart and you never end up owning what you think you're going to own one day. So just beware with that. All right, so listen. I got a call a few months ago from a young woman who was 21. She had just graduated from nursing school in May, had just started a job at a local hospital in June, and so had been employed for just a couple of months and wasn't sure what to do. Knew that she wanted to be out on her own, was thinking about renting, and a great friend of hers said, listen, before you decide to throw money away renting, get in touch with a good friend of mine who's a realtor. That person happened to be me, and I'm so always thankful for referrals. She got in touch with me and she said, listen, I'm not sure if I should rent or I should buy, but if it's around the same amount of money, of course I want to buy something, even though she was 21 years old. Listen, the great thing about purchasing a home, and I'll tell you this story another day, but I actually bought my first home when I was 19. It was the smartest decision I ever made, because you're putting money towards something that is always going to appreciate if you take care of it. Unlike a vehicle, the moment you drive it off the lot, the value of it has depreciated. Absolutely different with real estate and with a home and with land and those kinds of things. The values are always appreciating if you take care of what you have, which means she's going to be able to, let's just say that she gets married in a couple of years and wants to sell that house, she's going to make all her money back and then some, because she owns the house. And a lot of people have the misconception that you have to have a house paid off before you sell it. That's absolutely the farthest thing from the truth. So what happened with her was she said, look, I'm pretty sure that I want to buy. I have great credit. I have a job. I have a monthly income, all the things, right? Of course, you need a job and you need a monthly income to buy a house. But you don't need perfect credit at all. In fact, you don't even need good credit to buy a house. So first thing I said, well, listen, what we need to do is we need to get you pre-approved so that you know what your budget is. And when you get pre-approved, you need to know what monthly note do you feel comfortable paying. And that includes the house note, the taxes, and the insurance. So you need to have that number in your head. So I got her pre-approved. I work with a whole lot of mortgage brokers in the area that can get you pre-approved, that shop the rates, which means they shop to get you the absolute lowest rate based on your particular situation. A local bank is usually not the best place to go. Sometimes it is, but 9 times out of 10, a mortgage broker can beat the rates and the terms of a bank. So just know that. Gave her to a mortgage broker. The mortgage broker ran her numbers and said, listen, if this is the monthly note that you feel comfortable making, then this is the house price that you need to be looking under. And so for her, that amount was under $200,000. And so we started looking at anything in the area that was under $200,000. And so that's what happens. Did she pay me anything up front? Absolutely not. I get paid at closing when the buyer purchases the home and the names are transferred over and then the sale happens, and then the closing attorney cuts me a check from the proceeds of the sale. That was in the commission agreement with the listing agent and the seller. So you do not pay me anything up front as a buyer. Now, I do know some realtors that do charge a fee. I absolutely do not. So if I do not find you a house, I do not get paid. So my absolute goal is to find you something in your budget that you love and that works for you. And when we find you a house at closing, I get paid. So the misconception is that if you want to buy a house, you drive around. In fact, I'm driving past the house right now that I have listed. Okay, let's say that you wanted to see that house. Of course, you could call the number on the sign, and you can call me. But let's just say there were 10 houses for sale in Iota by 10 different realtors. That is an absolute waste of time. What you do before you start house hunting is you choose a realtor who you know, you like, and you trust. A realtor that you know is going to negotiate the absolute best price for you when you find the home of your dreams that you love. I would hope that that would be me. And listen, don't ever think that I'm too busy for you. I have a very full schedule. I live by the calendar, but I absolutely will work with you to find you what you need, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So if you're a buyer and you are young, like I said, I bought my first home. It was actually a little trailer in Scott, Louisiana for $7,800 back when I was 19 years old. It's the smartest thing I ever did. And it is absolutely possible for you. If you have a job, if you have an income, if you have okay credit, it doesn't even have to be amazing. It doesn't even have to be good, actually. If you have credit, if you have an income, and if you have a desire to be a home buyer, you don't even have to have money in the bank, believe it or not. There are plenty of loans where you get 100% financing. Now, of course, if you have money in the bank, that's always helpful. Just for you in general, it's helpful to have money in the bank. But to buy a house, if you qualify for certain loan types, you absolutely can get 100% financing. If you qualify for an FHA loan, you will need 3.5% down. A huge misconception that I find is that people believe that you need 20% down. That is absolutely not true. I do not know of any loans that require you to have 20% down. In fact, the only loan that requires you to have more than 3.5% is a conventional loan, which requires 5% down. So, depending on what you qualify for, you may not need any money at all. And if you qualify for an FHA or a conventional, you could need 3.5% or 5%, but not 20%, which is what most people think. That is not the case at all. So if you are thinking about buying, where there's a will, there is always a way. If you think your credit is too bad to buy a house, give me a call. All you can do is try. I'll set you up with a mortgage broker. They will run your credit, they'll run your numbers, and they'll find out what numbers you feel comfortable with. And if your budget is $100,000, we'll go house hunting in the $100,000 range. If it's $300,000, we'll do that. But you do not want to go start house hunting in a price range that you don't even know. Like I said, I had somebody the other day that called me and said, listen, my budget to go house hunting is $200,000. This is true. I said, how did you get the $200,000? How'd you get that number? They said, I don't know. I said, do you know what the note is per month at $200,000? No. Well, then, so basically, they just pulled the number out the air. That's not what you do when you're house hunting. You have to know what number you feel comfortable with per month. And like I said, that's your house note, that's your insurance, and that's your taxes. That's all together. Know that number before you ever get pre-approved, because you don't want a mortgage broker to approve you for way more than you ever are going to spend per month. That would be silly, and that would be a waste of time. So just know that. If you are thinking about buying and you're not sure where to start, give me a call. I'd love to have a conversation with you. This weather is perfect house hunting weather. There's going to be more houses for sale because of the weather. It brings people out, which means if you are a serious house buyer and you're not pre-approved and a house hits the market that you want, you are at an absolute disadvantage, because so many people right now are pre-approved for a certain loan for a certain amount. They have a pre-approval letter in their email and they are ready to submit an offer. 99% of realtors will not accept a purchase agreement from you on a home if you do not have a pre-approval letter. So it is a huge advantage on your part, if you are in the market to buy a house soon, to have a pre-approval letter. And if you're not sure how to get one of those, give me a call. Do not use Rocket Mortgage. Okay? You want to go with a local realtor who either I know, like, and trust and refer them to you, or you know a mortgage broker that you know, like, and trust, okay? You don't want some computer-generated pre-approval letter with just some random person that you can't even speak to. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy this weather. And again, if you are a buyer and you're ready to buy, or you think you want to buy and you're not sure how to buy, give me a call. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Y'all have a great day.